Namaste, Soul Tribe family. Welcome back my way on this Divinely Guided Day. Hopefully, you are well and rested, and so are your families too. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. Okay. hmm Thank you to all of the new family members who have recently subscribed to all the N1111 Energy Soul Tribe family. I am grateful for you. Thank you so much. And to everyone who has joined the channel by donating a monthly contribution through joining the channel. I am grateful for you. Thank you so much. And for all of your likes, shares, subscribes, donations as a whole, being the All Being 1111 Energy Soul Tribe family, pushing the channel, getting the messages out there, tapping in. I am grateful for you. And to my A ones who are my day ones, I would not have been here if it was not for you. So thank you so much for everything that you do for our space. I am grateful. Okay. Y'all, let's get into this channel message. Thank you so much for being here. I heard that someone is starting to realize, or people are realizing that they've made a bad choice. And your light and truth is bringing healing to many. Now, some are still possibly rejecting this energy, but I feel like they will be coming around as well. All right, let's get into this message. At this time, Divine, I ask that you provide both myself and the Soul Tribe family with protection during this read all reason all the time. I ask that you provide us with clear and concise messages, as well as clarity, guidance, intuition, wisdom, and discernment. Any negativity, any toxicity, any evil being thrown or projected at myself or the Soul Tribe family, I ask that you strike it down and cut it down as we too strike it down and cut it down, clearing, canceling it, and releasing it back to the universe. Ashe, and thank you. All right, y'all. Yes. So at the bottom of this deck, we do have bad choices here. Someone has made a bad choice. Okay. I feel like Spirit is going to get into this energy more, but I do feel like there were many that possibly, teamed up to bully you, not really knowing you, not really knowing anything about you. It was just, they were with a group of people with that, and that's what they did. Okay. They bully. All right. I feel like that has been something they've always done, but these energies are starting to realize they made a bad choice here, family. Okay, with this bullying energy. Okay. Yeah, it could have been somebody who shot you. You basically knew there was a red flag here. When I look at this red lipstick stains, this is giving me red flag energy. Like, you may have felt like some things were red flags, but you were being optimistic, trying to overlook them, I feel. And in doing so, you just kept, I feel like the repeated cycle that you were on was actually one that you didn't have to be. You needed to wake up to who you were, but there were a lot of red flags that you were seeing. I feel like you thought the norm was to do what everybody else was doing in the 3D, and that's just, work hard and everything will be, the way it was supposed to be. But that doesn't happen for the chosen because the chosen are very targeted. Yeah, see, these people were like really putting on a show. And those were the red flags that you were seeing. It felt like people were even putting on a show. Okay. hmm This could have been people that, were breaking the contract, breaking the spiritual contract as well as the 3D contract. The 3D contract was basically one that was, you know, pushed. Okay. The narrative was pushed. Go to school, get a good job, you know, um, depending on if you wanted to go to higher education, get this good job, and work hard, and you will reap the benefits of those rewards. Many saw that that narrative that was pushed was really a false one. You could have seen that, okay, with that red lipstick being a red flag. Yeah, people were putting on a show, okay, and a lot of people did break contracts, and I feel that's where they know they made the bad choice at. Okay, tell me more, Spirit. And thank you so much for the messages. Yeah. Yeah. You knew they were haters. They did. They showed you characteristics and behaviors of a hater. hmm Many people you were around, many people that you came into contact with, yeah, setting the record straight. Somebody here, somebody is setting the record straight pertaining to how they participated in this. Um, and when I say participated in this was an illusion, okay, that they were participating in. Somebody is setting the record straight pertaining to the show that was put on. Yeah. I feel like you definitely, somebody here has kicked someone to the curb that they were hanging with or a group of people. Okay. I feel like you have helped somebody heal to see where they were actually wrong. Okay. I feel like somebody here has kicked a group of people to the curb. Yeah, because it says fulfilling a fantasy. I feel like, hurt people hurt people. Okay, family? Make no mistake about it. Hurt people. Ooh, ooh. I think I went the wrong way. Hurt people hurt people. Okay. And when that happens, okay, you're dealing with energies that they don't know any better. Okay. They don't know any better when it comes to trying to get that glare off of here. Mm-mm. Hold on, y'all, because there we go. It's a little better. Okay. So, excuse me about that, y'all. Yeah, hurt people hurt people. Okay. So, when you're dealing with total trauma, okay, is what I saw first. But these type of people, they deal in total trauma and drama. Okay. That is kind of what feeds their negative energy. Is the drama and the trauma and the constant mayhem and gossip type energy. Okay. Somebody is setting the record straight when it comes to that. Okay. I feel like a lot of people here were definitely trying to fulfill their fantasy of putting on some sort of show, creating things that didn't need to be even be created. Mayhem, strife, heartbreak, uncertainty. It was like these people got off on that. Okay. They got off on, you know, causing other people hurt and heartache and pain. Somebody realized that that is not the way it should be. I feel like this energy also saw that it was a red flag, like, but they wanted to fit in. I'm picking up an energy or many energies here that just wanted to fit in and wanted to belong. Hmm. Yeah, situation is about to explore. Things are about to pop off in flames. Yeah, because I feel like somebody, yep, they're setting the record straight. And a situation is about to explode. Excuse me, I said explore. A situation is about to explode. Things are about to pop off in flames. I feel that that is exactly the energy that is, I am feeling game is over. Somebody is coming forward about the truth pertaining to what they've done or what a group of people have done, a group of people that they were associated with. I feel like this is part of their healing process. Somebody here wants to heal themselves or be healed. They are tapping into their emotional intelligence. Somebody has placed the shoe on the other foot type energy is here. Hmm. Yeah, already knowing the tea. I feel like somebody really, family, you may have enlightened or not so much just enlightened, but help someone heal because you may have already known the tea. You may be somebody that's very psychic or very intuitive, but you may have already known the tea. Whatever it was that they were trying to do with this recording, announcing, expressing, revealing the truth, I feel like you knew that people were lying. You knew that people were concealing things here with it coming out in reverse. You already knew what was going on. This enlightened somebody or this intrigued someone. to want to possibly, know or learn more about you is the energy I'm getting. Like you intrigue someone. Hmm. Yeah, somebody felt like they got caught, and that's something about keeping a promise here. But I feel like you intrigued someone. And they did. They wanted to get to know you. They may have heard that you were promiscuous, you slept around, or you were some sort of temptress, okay? Free for all, steals your man type energy, okay? Somebody may have heard that about you. Somebody may have heard that about you. But maybe they felt that they already knew this tea, okay? Maybe they felt they already knew this tea, but no one had any proof. There was no truth to that. You may have been in energies where that's all that they had wanted. I feel that's because that's what they were told they would get. But you ended up proving whoever was lying on you that that's not the case. It's not that. Hmm. Continue. Thank you, Spirit. Yeah. Somebody got tired of the drama. It seemed like there was a lot of drama. They were starting to see the drama overflow into their lives. Somebody got tired of the drama. So they came clean that they were putting on a show. Somebody wants to set that record straight. Hmm. Because the situation is about to explode. Things are about to pop off. Hmm. And it is game over. Yeah. Somebody wants to run away from the situation. Somebody could be expecting side note, side message. Yeah, this copycat is running away, or you're running away, or you have run away from a copycat. I feel like this is a copycat though that someone is running away from. Hmm. Tell me more, Spirit. Yeah. This person has anger management issues. Like I really pick up on a bully type energy. Okay. A bully energy and a very narcissistic, it's all about me type energy. I really do pick up on that. Sorry, y'all, because I dropped that earlier. And I feel like this energy right here is somebody that you can't tell them anything because they don't see the wrongs that they do. Somebody else was starting to see that. That could have been the red flag that they were looking at. They were seeing the hater characteristics and behavior, and how they were wanting to create drama and chaos, possibly in your life, many people's lives type energy. This could have been energy you had to have to keep alchemizing. I felt like you had to alchemize this hater energy a lot because, you may be somebody that is met with a lot of opposition and a lot of adversity. That's just because people are jealous. Yeah, somebody out here, yeah, they do. They know they fucked up. Yeah, they know they fucked up. Okay. And you could have helped this person in some sort of way. Okay. Only take what resonates, but I feel like you helped this person that fucked up in some kind of way. Oh yeah, quick disclosure. I didn't tell you. I do cuss, I do curse, I speak the truth and call out names and guide it too. Yeah, this person could now be envious of you. They could even be going through some sort of substance abuse here. Um, Maybe they're even envious because you could have been once upon a time on some sort of drug. And it doesn't mean it has to be like, the hard stuff. Pills are the biggest drug going nowadays, pain relievers, all the sets, whatever they're called. You know, maybe maybe big pharma was, your drug. Okay. It doesn't have to be just, all these other drugs that they're using out here now. Pill popping is a drug, and that's what's there. Somebody was definitely, on drugs or on some sort of prescription type drug. Okay. Tell me more. Yeah. They could have realized that the environment they were in was very toxic. Somebody is definitely running away from a copycat who's got anger management issues, who's toxic as hell. And somebody wants to bring out the truth or, set the record straight. And somebody here is also going to be sitting back and watching all the shit go down, enjoying the gossip. Let's see who's going to be doing all of this. Mm-mm. Mhm. I feel like you're very fortunate when I look over here. For whoever this message is resonating with, I feel like you're very fortunate. I feel like you're fortunate that someone wants to come in and set the record straight. It could even be a Jezebel energy that wants to do that. This could have been somebody that was known for being a Jezebel. That's why that red lipstick's out here. Okay. Tell me more, spirit. Yeah. Somebody wants to, set the record straight that you're not an ice queen. Okay. You could have even, they could have told somebody you were an ice queen. Somebody wants to set the record straight. You're no ice queen. You're not cold-hearted. You're not manipulative. When I see that ice queen, that's what I think of. Okay. Yeah. Um, Somebody here is not being looked at as being someone that is mature. I do feel a masculine energy here, whether you guys want to believe it or not. There's a lot of masculines out there that hate on women. And I feel like there was a masculine energy out here that could have been your biggest fan when it came to haterism. Hmm. Your biggest fan when it comes to being a hater was a masculine for some of you. Okay. That is what I am hearing.
My dermis is itching. Look, taking my shot and like step I miss. Nah.
Let me go make sure all my stuff is on because when weird things happen and I know my security's on. Okay, cool. Because it ain't gonna play without it. Okay, good. Yeah, so I feel like, there was someone that was not mature who you had known, dealt with, okay? And I feel like this has something to do with possibly, you leaving them, maybe just taking your energy back, stepping away from a situation, whatever it was, this is a very immature energy, okay? And it is a masculine, but he's not a mature man whatsoever. You would think he should be. I just heard because of his age, but he's not. I feel like he could have been confused. Something about with this total drama, right? And then tired of drama. I feel like, a lot of people do, like I said, hurt people. And they be stuck on, things that they learned or grew with to be the norm. Okay. Let's say you live in a neighborhood and it's normal in this neighborhood where there's a lot of violence or whatever, the men act a certain way, the women act a certain way versus, you grow up rural America, green pastures and everything's peaches and cream, the men and women are going to act and conduct a certain type of way. But I also feel like there's choice here. But I feel like this masculine was under some sort of influence. Okay. And his influence was one of power, but at the time, who was he influencing? Who was his audience? His audience was a bunch of immature men, that were all confused, hmm causing destruction. hmm Tell me more, spirit. I ain't lying, family. Yeah. You could have been dealing with, masculine energies that got off on causing issues for people. Because that's how they functioned. Now they're all going through some sort of legal issues now. Yeah, their bad choices has them in legal issues now. Okay. Tell me more, spirit. Yep. Some of them could be going through some health concerns now. Okay. Yeah, whatever it was that caused them a storm, causing them storms. Yeah, because I feel like here, they went up against someone who was extremely faithful, faithful to the Most High, faithful to their beliefs, their knowings, faithful to the word of God's promise, faithful to their ancestors. And this faithful is giving me somebody that's hella truthful. Like, I feel like I'm picking up on somebody. Race doesn't matter to you. You're gonna speak the truth, whether this right, wrong, whatever it is. You're a truth speaker, and you lay down the law without biasness. You look at it from all perspectives. I feel like this energy that's out here. Like when it comes to speaking the truth, you speak the truth on everything. Because you see things. You're very wise. With this vision and wisdom out here, yeah. You've looked within. You've had to go within. You had to look within yourself in order to be able to pass down or obtain the wisdom that you have. Not only was it part of your heritage, but it's something that that lives within you, and that is the wisdom, that is the knowledge. And you had the visions here. And when I say vision, it's like you knew what it was. Once you went within, you knew what you were looking at. You had a very profound insight. This has a lot to do with your roots. I'm telling you. This has a lot to do with your roots and how you connect with your roots, your ancestral wisdom. It really does guide you. It guides someone here. Okay. I feel like it has guided someone through them using their intuition. I feel like somebody here, okay, and this is pertaining to whoever's resonating with this message, your intuition may had shown you the bad choices in these actors, these characters, these energies that are out here. Your intuition told you this would be a bad choice. You may have had the opportunity to join, okay, or become in some sort of contract, get a contract with someone, okay, but you knew it was a bad choice or you saw the red flags. I feel like somebody looked at you like, how dare you? Who do you think you are to turn down our group or to turn down who we are type energy? And after that, you probably were stalked. Okay. They took your rejection as an insult. You rejecting them, they took it as an insult. Okay. And they started to uh place you within their bad energy. Okay. So when I say that, you know how a lot of people can't put up with rejection. Okay. Somebody here felt it was a privilege to be a part of them or be with them or join them in some sort of contract. You rejecting them, um, I feel like messed with their self-esteem in some kind of way. Made them feel some kind of way. Yeah. 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 When you rejected them, you made them feel some kind of way. And they went into, instead of looking at it from the perspective of why would this earth angel reject me, they went into automatically saying you're not a healer and da 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 da. And it wasn't that. You just didn't want to do nothing with them because you knew with them everything was phony and fake and it was going to come back anyway with karma. So this is this mature, I mean, immature male energy where rejection doesn't sit well with them. Okay, it causes them confusion and they go into a self-destruction type of energy, and that means tearing up and blowing up everything within their path. Very narcissistic, egotistical energy. It was almost like somebody could have been taunting you here with Hiller in the reverse with the hello. Yeah, this was somebody that was not on point. I'm also feeling this confusion is like, hello, wake up. Because, yeah, this mature man, he is not coming out as being an intuitive one. Mm, Tell me more. Immature man is not intuitive. Yeah, because they're abusive. Their destruction is all about abuse. If you reject this energy, they come back destructive. hmm It's like somebody that doesn't want to hear a no. You'd be like, no, and it's like, what? They're like, what? Did you say no to me? This energy can't take a no. You say no to them, and it's like they feel like, how dare you? How dare you say no to me? Yeah, a rising star. That's how they feel. How dare you say no to me, a rising star? And somebody is running away from this toxic energy because they're like, shit, ain't nothing rising about this. They're seeing their life is being turned around or turned upside down, or things are starting to happen to them or their family or someone close to them. They're wondering where it's coming from. And it's just from all of the mayhem, the chaos, the Seven of Swords energy, the Five of Wands energy, the Five of Swords energy, winning at all costs, Five of Wands, a bunch of conflict, a bunch of chaos, a bunch of disagreements, Seven of Swords, a bunch of, lies, deceit, trickery energy. Yeah, because somebody didn't awaken to their abuse. They hadn't awakened to the abuse they were causing people. It took you to kind of make them see it from a different perspective. But when you rejected them, they went into full-fledged destruction mode. When you rejected this energy, they went full-fledged destruction. For real. And I mean, everything started getting turned upside down, and the seeds that they planted, they started to reap. Okay. And they planted seeds of destruction, and they planted seeds of, confusion and illusions, and, lied, said you weren't a healer, said you weren't this, said you weren't that, tried to say you were promiscuous. Somebody is stepping up and setting the record straight that none of that was true. Somebody was in their feelings because you rejected them. And I feel like this is where the change came in. They're either going to get good karma or bad karma. You have people out here getting good karma, you have people out here getting bad karma. Many have achieved. I feel like somebody here is feeling like they are making achievements. Someone is clearing out their debt of guilt. Yeah. Someone out here is no longer holding any grudges or any animosity towards someone. Okay. Tell me more. Yeah. Because you are someone who is held in high honor. So someone is no longer holding a grudge against you. I feel like, they've realized that it was not you. It was, they were dealing with someone who was hurt behind you. And that's what they're starting to realize. They're starting to realize that they were dealing with someone who was hurt behind you, who could have got a group of people to come up against you. And in these group of people, it was each and every possibly masculine energy that you had ever known. Yeah. And they were trying to do love, maybe, yeah, love magic, love spells, maybe even Smex magic, okay, rituals. But I feel like, you weren't going for it because you know how energy is exchanged, and you weren't down for the promiscuous games. So then they came in with the love spells. Rituals of love spell. I'm telling you, this is, yep, look at the bottom of the deck. It got blocked. hmm This got blocked. and someone was extremely jealous of that or upset about that. This is jealous, envious energy. I'm also picking up energies of feminines that were upset that this person wanted to place this ritual of a love spell on you. Okay. Why you type energy? Why did this priest, warlock, dark night of the souls energy want to do that for you or towards you type energy? And it's because you're abundant in all ways, inner and outer abundance. Somebody saw that. Somebody saw that you were getting ready to be abundant in the distant future. And that's why they wanted to do this. But it also made their twin flame energy jealous and envious because you're chosen. Yeah. And somebody backed out of a commitment. Somebody backed out of a commitment once they realized that who they were with was not the chosen ones. This is that contract that could have been broken. Many contracts were broken here. Somebody feels like they're losing the twin flame and you too, because you're definitely not going to play any games with this energy. Somebody out here is also feeling like, they may have lost a commitment due to some sort of voodoo that was placed. Or, yeah, due to some sort of voodoo, somebody feels like they lost, their abundance that they were promised or that they thought they were going to get if they were able to commit to this type of a contract. Yeah. And people somebody out here is thinking about, the emotional pain that they could have caused somebody, the mental and emotional instability that they could have caused someone who is actually someone who's very blissful when it comes to their relationships. It's like somebody was contradicted, somebody was lied to here. Somebody realizes they caused someone who always just thinks with a loving heart or has love on their mind and within their heart a lot of mental and emotional instability and pain. And people are saying that, when they're in these relationships with others, that relationship is actually blissful. And I feel like, many people are like, well, how did the relationship go? What happened? Well, first of all, when you're dealing with a snake ass, they're going to get that snake treatment. But when you're dealing with somebody that you feel that is solid, they're going to get that solid treatment. And for the most part, family, everybody you've dealt with, you have been blissful to them. There wasn't much anybody had to do for you, but you did a whole lot for a lot of people. You were the giver in all your relationships, mature woman. I cannot make it up. You were the giver in all your relationships. That's why you're unbothered and divinely guided on your pathway now. Self-love. See, you're nobody's puppet. These people got puppet mastered out. You are definitely someone that is to be held in high honor because you are sexy, single, and you're successful. I feel like you've raised your family here. This is telling me that you're an empty nester. Hmm. For whoever that's resonating with. Somebody out here is looking at these people as not being their family anymore as well. They want to set this record straight. This is not their family no more. Hmm. Yeah. Because, see, a lot of people painted a false narrative of you. They really did. And a lot of people are in regret behind that right now. Hmm. A lot of people are in regret behind a false narrative, or there's just somebody out here that wants to set the record straight behind a false narrative. Hmm. All right. So I'm going to leave that message here. Hopefully it resonates. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe and hit your notification bell and drop comments below as it does help the channel to grow. I love you, family. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a magnificent weekend. Okay. Rest up well. And for those of you who are cleansing your homes from top to bottom, ashe. Okay. Ashe. All right. All right. Let's close out. Divine, thank you so much for allowing us to be here. We are grateful. I ask that you continue to keep love, harmony, tranquility, prosperity, peace, protection, and respect and good health in our lives and all the time. Ashe, and thank you. And until next time, you know what I love to say. Namaste.